What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zcash today. I forgot we were talking about Zcash, ZEC It is the second day of August, and here we are at $472 with roughly 8 hours left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Let's get into it. Let's talk about this price action, okay? We've been bearish on Zcash now officially since the day it topped, literally to the day that it topped. We went back and forth on it being bullish, being bearish at various times. We were bullish throughout here all the way up until this day, and then we've been bearish ever since, calling for lower prices every step of the way. $472 now. Over the last week, we have talked about the idea that it's completely possible and acceptable for Zcash to move up to $500, maybe even above $500. We could, find resistance at prior resistance here, prior support here, whatever. It's completely possible that something like that happens, and then we come down from there. Completely possible. Don't get too excited if it does. It's completely possible that we don't move up, that we just keep moving down, and that things even get worse and pick up to the downside. I really think a lot of this hinges on Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin at any moment decides to free fall into this bear market finale that I've been anticipating now for the last week or so, if we decide to free fall, Zcash likely free falls with it. And whenever it's time to free fall, I'm anticipating that Zcash not only goes below these lows, not only goes below $400, but goes below this low as well, goes below $200, and likely in time will even go below $100. I don't suspect that this free fall for Zcash will be anything like what we saw here for these 2 weeks, but I do think it'll be a pickup in pace. Maybe we move down like this, a little bit more dramatic, something like that. Something like this. We will pick up the pace. I don't think, again, that it'll be like this. Maybe there's a week that we drop 25%, whatever, but I don't think that it'll be like this, just one straight shot down where 2 weeks later you're down 60%, maybe. But I do think the pace is rapidly approaching to picking up. We look at the daily time frame, and my suspicion is that once we get into the oversold zone, that's when this goose is going to cut loose. That's when we're going to break out to the downside, okay? Daily getting into the oversold zone on the RSI. The weekly RSI looks weak, okay? We got overbought nice and deep into the overbought zone, and then we rejected the overbought zone. Now here, we can't even get overbought. We're rejecting the 60. We're getting lower highs all the way through. These higher lows are not going to prevail. We will break through and likely make our way for the oversold zone on the weekly as well. I suspect that in the midst of Bitcoin dropping and finding its finale phase in this bear market, Zcash will see a tremendous drop, but will likely also, I think, continue to drop after Bitcoin has found its low. I think Zcash maybe for a month, maybe for multiple months, will continue to drop after Bitcoin has dropped while we're in this kind of post-bear market lull. And we will, in that time frame, find our bear market low somewhere maybe by the end of this year, 2026, or the early part of 2027, the last quarter of 2026, the first quarter of 2027. That's when we'll find our low below $100. I expect that it's not just going to be a straight line down. It was a straight line up. I don't think it'll be a straight line down. I think there will be volatility intermingled in there. Moments where people are totally discouraged, moments where people are excited, moments where that discouragement it reaches its peak, and then from there, that's when Zcash will bottom out and continue to rally. You zoom out, you look at it for what it is overall. I'm expecting a higher low still, whether it's here, whether it's there, whether it's wherever. It's going to be a higher low of sorts, and I do expect Zcash will rally and see new all-time highs in time. Whenever I say new all-time highs, most people, when they say new all-time highs, they're referring to this 30K level. I don't consider that real price action. I think that the new all-time highs that I'm considering are just above this level. I think that we'll see something above 1,000, probably even worth multiple thousands of dollars in the coming year and years ahead for Zcash. But for the time being, we are bearish. Not to mention the fact that you've got this overall overarching double top look here that's just yet to play out. If it is a double top, and I think it is, I'm pretty confident in that. We take the low here to the high. I don't know if that was the low. That wasn't the actual low. Low to high. And you've got your 382 at 170. You've got your golden ratio at $70. Anything and everything in between is possible. I personally do believe that we'll see prices below 100, but that doesn't mean we have to go all the way to $70. Maybe this isn't the right fib. Maybe I should be taking this fib instead. In which case that'd be $90. Maybe I should be taking this fib instead. In which case that'd be $112 to $90, or maybe a little bit lower still. There's a bunch of different ways to measure this. I think a good one actually might be this one here, from a low to a high. That one might be good. And in which case, our 1272, 1618, this is the primary target zone, and that's $130 to $82. Just because we're making sense out of this area doesn't mean it has to find support there. Maybe we find a higher low. You know, maybe we break out from here, we move up. I can be wrong. I've been wrong before. I will be wrong again. But I'm not making this video to be wrong. I'm not making this prediction to be wrong. I'm making this prediction because I want to warn people in advance who might be bullish on Zcash, who maybe bought a lot down here and are thinking to hold for the long term. If you want to hold for the long term, don't let me talk you out of your long-term bags, but be prepared. You're going to see some pain. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I thoroughly believe that Bitcoin is entering its bear market finale phase right now. We are seeing it. For the last week, 2 weeks now, we've been in the beginning phase of this bear market finale right now. We are equivalent here to where we were here in this drop, to where we were here in this drop, to where we were here in this drop. We're equivalent there. The exciting part is that last 2 weeks. It might be 3 weeks before we get to that exciting part. It might be 1 week. It might start tomorrow, whatever it is. But if Bitcoin's going to drop, my question to you is this. What do you think is going to happen to Zcash? With lower highs, double top, what do you think is going to happen? It's probably not going to be good. Probably not. On that note, let's look at Zcash to BTC, and then we'll wrap this video up, okay? Zcash to BTC also looks like it's got a double top. Now, but this one's a slightly higher high. Bearish divergence on the weekly RSI, double bearish divergence at that. That's a very bearish look on the weekly RSI, you guys. Very bullish overall, but this right here, this little succession, this chain of succession right here, that's not good, man. That is really not good. Especially because you've had your uptrend. It's a very mature and developed uptrend. You've ended in the overbought zone. It's time to break it. It's time to go down. That's how this happens. And I'm not saying that to be a hater. That's just how it happens. Look, this is a very mature and developed downtrend. And what happened? Eventually, you stopped getting deeper into the oversold and you started finding support, and then you ripped, right? Eventually, you stop getting deeper into the overbought zone, you start rejecting it, and then you dip. It's what's going to happen. And you'll probably see a retracement based off of this. This one might be helpful as well. I'm going to take this high, not the fake out high. I'm going to take this high. Look, it's even a bull flag, and it's a busted bull flag. Look, here's your breakout move, and it's busted, man. It's busted. You're going to come back down. Absolutely, it's busted. This is a breakout bull flag move. It can go slower, but it's just too much. It's taking too much time. I think that we're going to see lower prices. 382 at a minimum, golden ratio at the maximum. And from here versus Bitcoin, I mean, guys, that's a 70% drop or more, man. 70% drop or more. If Bitcoin's going to drop in value, and then this drops in value versus Bitcoin, that just adds to the loss that you'll see in the US dollars. What was that? 70%? So what's 70% from here? It's lower than that low. It's 140 bucks. What I can confidently say is that I believe Zcash will see $130 to $82. And that if you bought anywhere up here, it's time to cut your losses. If you bought anywhere down here, it's time to take profits, man. If you're holding out for that $1,000 and beyond level, that's fine. But if you're not going to sell here, you better not sell here. If you're not going to sell here, you better not sell here. You got the balls to hold now, you better have the balls to hold here. Because if you sell down here, you're going to miss the move that you're waiting for now. It's going to happen in time. But time is what it will take, okay? Conviction building, shaking out of the weak hands, and that's what's going to happen now. That's what this next test is going to be. You could really put yourself in a good position if you took profits, if you bought anywhere down here or along the way, if you took profits and then reallocated back down, you could really put yourself in a good position. You don't even have to, if you don't like my TA, you don't agree with my targets, whatever, that's fine. Start DCAing every time you see a lower low. Go for it, every time you get below a low. Because even from here to that first low right there, that's a 20% drop. That's significant. That's if you're planning to hold for long term, that's significant. Take whatever out, sell it all, sell a portion of it, DCA back into it. Every time you get below a significant low, start putting money in just below those lows. And then throw the freaking truck, the wagon at it once we're below the Mac Daddy low itself, because that's probably going to be the sweet spot. maybe right around this resistance point, maybe not. There's multiple avenues. It makes so much sense. You look at this chart, it makes so much sense that if we were to pull back, that we'd go here or lower, that we'd find support, prior resistance levels. But you're not the only person with eyes. I'm not the only person with eyes. We're certainly not the only people with brains and the right idea to buy this thing at lower prices. There's going to be a tension on this is all I'm trying to say. You might not reach that low. There could be front running. There might not be enough selling pressure. There might be a lot of buying pressure. And in which case, again, maybe we don't go below $100. I think we will. I think we do go below $100, but there's a scenario where we don't. We still get below this low, but we don't interact with these areas. We find support at another area of significance that we've seen in this thing's history. It doesn't have to be down at these levels. That's all I'm trying to say. Anyways, lower. That's the call. That's the expectation. And let me just see here real quick. Yeah, I don't know, man. If we can get above 560, I'll change my mind. I don't think we will. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye. And not just get above 560, stay above it. Close above it multiple days in a row. Not just a wick. I don't think we'll even wick up there, but just in case we do. It's T's and I's, man. You got to dot and cross them. Take care. Bye-bye.